Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do double knitting and using two different colors to create a really cool looking striped scarf. I'm using the second smallest loom in the KnitUK long loom set with all of the pegs in it. So what you're going to need are two contrasting colors, which I'm using a purple, which this purple is, let me see, grape or raisin. It's Caron Simply Soft, and I'm just using black Caron Simply Soft. I'm a big fan of Caron Simply Soft just because it has such a nice silky sheen to it. And what we're doing here is, first I'm untangling all my string. Okay, so just start with a little slip knot and put it on your anchor peg here. There we go. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm not going to use the entire length of this, but we want to start with, we'll start with the pink pegs. Now we're going to wrap every other peg. Let's see how I'm doing that. Just every other peg, and I'll say that right there will be long enough. Then we're going to take our black, do a slip knot, and tighten that as well. There we go. And now the black, we are going to take, oh, I gotta get the string here. Oh, I used the wrong one. Okay. Alright, so get your slip knot on there and pull it tight. There we go. Now I got the right string. Okay, so from here we're going to come in on the other side, and we are just picking up the rest of those pegs. So here we go. There we go. And now you want to take a piece of contrasting yarn, which I'm using a bright orange. It's the first thing I see over here. Let me zoom this back out. Cast on however long you want your scarf to be, then take a contrasting color and pull down through both ends. This is separating out your first row so that when you're done you can finish off that starting edge with just a crochet finished or something, just so that both ends will look the same or look really similar. Okay, so that's how you start. Now how you keep going is you're going, see how these ones are kind of like on that last one, they're going to have to cross back, and you just rewrap the exact same. So I did purple first, so I'll do purple first this time. And then I'm coming back with the black. There we go. I'm used to working with a tensioner, and I didn't use one for this project. Alright, there. Now you take your hook, which I gotta find where I set mine. Misplaced my hook. Okay, now you're going to take your hook and you're going to go all the way down both sides, and you are going to take those bottom loops over the top, which it should be purple over purple ones, black over black ones, because what we're doing is we are going to do a striped scarf. So it's just going to be purple and black striped. Okay. And I'm going to work on this other side. Kind of push those down. Okay, now your first couple rows, it's going to be, the loops are going to be a lot looser at this point. But you just make sure all those loops are over the peg so that each peg only has one string going over it. So right now your cast on isn't going to look like much. It's going to be very loopy, but you're just going to keep going on from here, and you're just going to keep wrapping, you know, the black ones with the black ones and the purple ones with the purple ones until you get your scarf as long as you want, and then I'll show you how to do the cast off. Once you have your scarf or whatever you're making, the length that you want it to be, I'll show you how to go ahead and finish up your edges. Now this beginning edge right here, if you want, you can leave it just like that. You can just pull your string out and it'll be just like that with the loops. If you want to finish it off, one thing you can do is you start on the opposite end of your cast on string, and you can start, let me see, you pick up the first 2 loops with a crochet hook, which these ones are really close together. Let's separate them some. And you take the second through the first, you pick up the next loop, take second through the first, you do this all the way down, you do this all the way down. Once you get to that other end completely, you can actually take and just pull that orange string out, and then take these original cast on strings, which you'll have 2 if you're using 2 different collars, pull them through, and that will lock that in. And this is what it turns that cast on edge into. It looks a lot nicer. It's very finished. It's a very nice look. Okay, so how we cast off, let me zoom in to do this. What you're going to do this cast off, okay, get both of our strings on one side. You're going to take the loops from one side and put on the opposite side. You're going to do this all the way down. And you can see they'll be opposite. Oh, you can see they'll be opposite colors. So each one, if you did purple and black just like I did, each peg over this side, each peg will have a purple and a black one on it when you are done. Okay, it's going to look kind of messy, but this is what it's going to look like, because some of those loops are going to want to be a little loose, so you want to kind of pull them to tighten them some. And I'm going to do a crochet cast off variation to cast this off. So you're going to start with your first peg, and you're going to pull your working yarn through. We're just doing both strands together. Typically I'd use one, but as you can see, you have purple and black all along this edge. So I'm hoping doing it this way it'll match up a little better. So you pull the loop, you pull the working yarn through your first peg, kind of like you would for a purl stitch, but you leave the peg on there. Take your working yarn, pull through that loop. Now you're going to take your hook and pull the loop through the next peg, and you're going to pull the working yarn through that one, And you'll take your hook, and as you can see, I'm taking it through both pegs, through both loops on the peg, just treating it as one. So you're going to do this to each one all the way down. You're going to pull the loop through the yarn on the peg and to pull the working yarn through one time. I'll do a couple more just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I got 2 loops on there, pulling that up through. I'm going to pull that through just once. Alright, pull the loop up through. Pull the working yarn through once. Alright, pull the loop up through. Pull the working yarn through once. Okay, do that until you get to your last peg. Once you're at the end, I pulled the loop through that last peg, through the yarn on that last peg, and then I cut my working yarn, just pull through and make a knot. Now we can take all this off and see how this edge looks. Alright, this is how this end turns out. See, we don't have one single collar going all the way down through the edge, and both the ends, they don't match up exact, but they match up pretty good. If you want this one, if you want this cast off edge to be a little stretchier, because this side over here, the cast on edge is a little stretchier, you can actually do, instead of doing 1 chain in between each peg, you can do 2. But I think for a scarf like this, that doing the 1 chain is just fine. That will be perfectly fine. That'll be enough. At this point, you just take your string and you're going to take your crochet hook and just weave it up through and cut it off, and your scarf is completely done. Okay, I do hope this video helps. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.